Allegations of over 10,000 cases of abortion allegedly carried out by the Nigerian army has been disapproved by the African Center for Human Rights and Protection. Speaking at the press conference in Abuja, Dr. Fabian Nyakula, spokesperson for African Center for Human Rights and Protection Group, should be discarded for lacking in substance that is a propaganda aimed at distracting the Nigerian army in the war against the Boko Haram. He further added that the Nigerian army does not detain women and children victims of the Boko Haram onslaught, but rather being transferred to designated and recognized health facilities for medical assistance.
The recent diatribe where it alleged that the Nigerian army had forcefully terminated pregnancies of women who were victims of Boko Haram insurgency in northeast Nigeria is an insult to Nigeria as a country and its people. After an extensive analysis of the report, the abortion assault is read like tales by moonlight and was probably a product of Dex research without substance. The narrative also smacks of gross ignorance of the role of the Nigerian army in prosecuting the war against Boko Haram terrorists in northeast Nigeria. Reuters claimed that it interviewed 33 women and girls who were in the custody of the Nigerian army in Borno State. While this is defective sample size to draw such a hasty conclusion or generalization, it further highlights the mischief of Reuters, an agency that has lost focus and instead delves into matters they were ignorant about. The Nigerian army does not detain women and children. Instead, it is a known fact that upon securing women and children from Boko Haram camps, these women and children are availed the medical assistance in designated and recognized health facilities, not detention camps as erroneously claimed by Reuters. The puerile attempt by Reuters to paint the Nigerian army in bad light must have stemmed from the recent gains recorded in the prosecution of the war against terrorism. Because of the secrecy involved, it is impossible to know precisely how many abortions were done. Interviews and documents suggest the count could be significantly higher than the tally, at least 10,000 cases that Reuters was able to establish. The question thus is, how Reuters arrived at such a conclusion when it claimed that the report was based on 33 women and girls interviewed? This defeats common sense, hence why the report should be discarded in its entirety for lacking in substance. Writers must do well to desist from such unprofessional conduct, as the risks of losing whatever is left of its credibility. The efforts of the Nigerian army in addressing the threats posed by Boko Haram terrorists in northeast Nigeria have been notably and noteworthy. Its efforts at assisting victims of Boko Haram have also received commendations from near and far. Therefore, the Center for Human Rights and Protection position on this report by Reuters is that it lacks merit and is laced with malice and innocuous that smacks the mockery of investigative journalism. It advises members of the unsuspecting general public to view the report with a pinch of salt, as there is more than meets the eye. For the ordinary reader who reads without depth of knowledge, he will see it on the surface level as, yes, these people may have their facts. But in writing, we have what is called semantics, semiotics, and the author's intended meaning. And so we begin to ask questions, what could be the intention of the writer? And that brings us to intentionality. And we will conclude by saying the intentions of Reuters is to destroy and to bring down the efforts of Boko Haram, particularly when General Yahya Farouk is really doing well and everybody is commending. So we look at the intentions, and they are aimed at destroying all the gains that have been done in Northeast.